I feel that when they say tell her that they're done with her project, or ask her if she thinks they're done, or if it looks good. If it's not up to her standard or her par, then she herself should just explain to them that they need this, or they still need this, or they need to fix that. And don't just say, oh, it looks good, okay, great, thank you, and now let's start on the next project, and then grade them down poorly on it. Which a lot of the students are starting to ask. Like I said, Dallas, he argued with her about one of his projects. He told her, why did he get an 80? It was 80 or 70, I can't remember. And she explained, well, it was a little messy, and I don't like messy, and I deduct points for that. And he goes, well, this is a dog and this is a cat. And she goes, well, I couldn't tell that it was a dog or a cat. So what looked like a paint blob to her, he was actually trying to make a picture out of it, but because she couldn't tell what it was, she deducted points. She didn't ask him what it was, why there was this random little spot in a certain area. She just deducted points. It didn't matter to her. Another thing, even though I've told her before at the beginning of school that examples are best, all her examples that she shows the students, according to her, they're never completed or she messed up on. But that's the example she's using to show the students, and then when they copy that example, then she deducts points and tells them that it's wrong and they need to do more and more and more, and I'm sorry, but mine's not finished. If you're going to bother to make an example, I think you should finish it. Otherwise, they're using that example as that's what they need to do for their work. So every time she tells me that, oh, well, I'm working on this, but it's not quite finished yet, and then she shows the students, like, part of me just, like, screams. Because I know what's going to happen next. They copy that, and then she's like, no, you need to do this, and you need to do this. Mine doesn't have it, I know, but you need to do this. Which I understand, she's the teacher, and that's her way of doing things, but I still think, back of my mind, if you're going to make an example, complete the example. Otherwise, why bother? I'm just saying. And her recent examples are examples that she's gotten off the internet. And those examples on the internet are completed. So why not just show them the completed picture that you copied from the internet instead of what you did on a canvas that you didn't complete. There's me venting again. Maybe I need to learn to stop doing that. Let's see. On Friday, we worked on thank you cards for the special presenter. She thought that would be nice, as she put it, for them to make thank you cards for him. And she put his name on the board, and then the alligator's name on the board in big capital letters, and explained to them they wanted to spell his name out. They wanted to write his name out. Then that was how you spelt it. And so a lot of the kids, they didn't get, because she didn't explain, which I explained later just by myself. She didn't say Richard is the man's name and Chester's the alligator's name. She just said, there they are. So eventually I just started incorporating that in my signing, because they were just writing it down, and she didn't write. She wanted all the students to write thank you. Well, some of them don't know how to spell thank you. She didn't have an example of that. So I took it upon myself to get a piece of paper and write out thank you. And then I put Richard, and I put an and in the middle, and Chester as an example to pass around, so they could see how to spell it and understand that it's two separate things. It's not one person, Richard Chester. That it's the man and the alligator. But even though it was their thank you cards, she specifically, each student that said they were finished, she made sure to tell them that they needed to put thank you on there. And can you put Richard's name on there? And can you put Chester's name on there? And then can you write your name on there? So basically, it was a thank you card for the special presenter, her fiance, but she wanted it a certain way, and it had to have certain words on there, and it couldn't just be, I don't know, from their heart and their thank you card that they were making. It had to be what she wanted it to be, and had to say what she wanted it to say. It's just something else that just, I don't think she gets yet. Like, art is supposed to be expressive, and it's supposed to be a work of art, and you're supposed to be able to be creative. But in her mind, she wants them to be creative, but then if it's not to her exact description or her exact way that she did hers, then it doesn't satisfy her. And she still continues on, even though Darlene and I have explained to her that she needs to give them more, with just the simple, like, yeah, that's good. That's good. That's kind of cool. She doesn't elaborate on it. Not the ASL style of language where you gotta do more than just good. Okay, good. All your responses cannot be the same. We also explained to her about how she says some things like, no, stop that. No, don't do it again. If you do it again, you'll get in trouble. No. We explained to her that it's how we understand she's trying to be polite, and that stop that, but we have to sign it the way she says it, with the same intention behind it. So if she says stop that, we just say stop that. If she wants it more forceful and to really get their attention, she needs to be like, stop that, and we will sign it to that same extent. And we explained that to her, and we showed her some different ways to be more forceful or have more intention in her meaning with the signs. And then she, in turn, used some of that herself later on that day. For example, with AJ, who I think she just likes to pick on. But I'm glad she's getting the hint. If you want to mean it, you need to say it like you mean it. Not, oh, stop that, please. Stop her, you're going to get in trouble. And even one of the aides, because she was telling the aides on the students about their misbehaving and to tell their teachers, and even one of the aides stood up for him and was like, you're their teacher. You tell them. And one of the students asked if they could go to the bathroom, and so she turned around and asked the aide, well, can they go to the bathroom? I don't know their rules. If she goes, you're their teacher, can she go to the bathroom? Yes or no? So I love that they're letting her know that, because I've witnessed it, and I'm sure they've witnessed it too, where she's not comfortable in the setting, and she doesn't know her boundaries. But as far as I'm concerned, if the students are in her class, it's her class. They're in trouble with you. It's not your job to be a tattletale and get them in trouble with their other teacher. Later, the teacher that they're about to go to, they should be in trouble in your class. That's just my opinion. And if it's not disruptful, then tell the principal. You don't have to tell the teacher. What's the teacher going to do? She didn't witness it. They were in your art class. Anyways, I guess that's some things she still needs to learn about working with younger students, because she hasn't worked with younger students before. I'm trying to learn to deal with some of the things that happen and just kind of suck it up, and not that I exploded on her or anything, but learn that part of it is she's new to this experience too, and hopefully it's a learning process for her, and that she will pick up on some things. Darlene and I have both tried to explain to her again about the Williams syndrome, And the whole time Darlene was explaining, she's off looking here and there and looking at her shirt and picking at her fingernails and playing with crowns, doing everything she can but listen to what Williams syndrome is about. She also did the same thing with Eddie when he was trying to teach her signs. She was off playing with the window and doing this, that, and the other. So maybe she has some attention deficit disorder. I don't know. She likes to tell us that some of the students have ADHD and whatnot, and give them her own personal diagnosis of why they act the way they do, even though she doesn't know herself what their actual diagnosis is. Anyways, I'm still learning, and I hope I continue to stay there. Like I told you through text message, I applied for that job. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it, if I'm going to get it or not, but I really hope I do, because I think I would love working there. And I just love being able to get my hands up all day, every day, Monday through Friday. It's pretty awesome. So, anyways, alright, talk to you next time.